Hi, this is MarkLittle. Today I'm going to talk about something that we almost never talk about, and that's our free program, the Mark of Mastery. The subject of today's videos is how team members, other than you, the owner, manager, financial advisor at the firm, as long as you're responsible for both client acquisition, client service, once the clients are acquired, if you're responsible for both of those, then why is it that team members, I'm talking about administrative support team or subject matter experts, people that you've brought onto the team to help you actually deliver service to clients, why is it they feel they somehow don't have any responsibility for client referrals? Yes, client referrals. So we're going to talk today about what is the team's role when it comes to increasing client referrals. Do team members have any role whatsoever when it comes to referrals? I'm just going to put it out there. I've been in business since April 28th of 1981. I've had lots of teams over the years. People come, people go, people retire, and so forth. Very seldom have I had a team member who intuitively thought, oh yeah, it's my responsibility to help this firm when it comes to client referrals. Let me start with the administrative support team. Their role, do they have a role when it comes to client referrals? First of all, depends on how you're acquiring clients. I've seen the data on this. It's a very high percentage of the financial advisors that I described. If you're responsible for both acquiring the client and then serving the client, I would call that an owner managed business. You're responsible for bringing in the revenue and you're responsible for retaining the revenue. Okay. That's an owner manager type situation. Even if you're working for a wirehouse or even if you work for a big accounting firm or something like that, you're still the owner manager of your business if you're required to bring in the revenue and retain the revenue. What is the administrative support team's role? They come in, they think I was hired administrative support. If it's a client facing support person, they're thinking I was hired maybe to answer the phones, or I was hired to manage the advisor's calendar, or I was hired to coordinate with clients and confirm appointments and so forth like that, or filing or computer or any of the things that an administrative support person is often hired to do. They think they were hired to do these list of tasks. I'm going to throw it out there because I want you to consider adopting this mindset so that it shows up every time you talk to your team. And that is everyone working at this firm, no matter what they do, whether they're client facing or whether they're behind the scenes working on technology, or even if you're in some role that you never leave your office, you just sit there and do your work. Literally everyone at this firm is in the client acquisition department, because if you're bringing in the clients, retaining the clients, I call this acquiring the clients and serving the clients. If you're responsible for those two things, then everybody in your organization is either supporting you or supporting the client directly. They have an opportunity to knock the client's socks off. An administrative support person can knock the client's socks off in a million ways. How about answering on the first ring instead of the 10th ring if they answer phones? How about returning all emails in half an hour, not 2 hours? In some cases, some firms, I've read them. I've read standards at some financial advisory firms where the standard of the firm is to respond to client interactions within 2 business days. Okay, that may be fine if you're in a part of our business where you serve very small clients. They're very grateful for what you do. So if you serve very small clients and those clients are very grateful for what you do, I'm never going to argue with you. I'm not going to say you should or you could do this or that. Okay, I give up. You prove it. You've proven it to me. It doesn't matter. What I'm talking about is if you're a financial advisory firm that is attempting to go upstream. You're trying to work with more affluent clients. You're trying to work with more successful clients. You're trying to work with clients with greater complexity because you can charge greater fees in that way. If that's what we're talking about, all of that changes as far as what knocks the client's socks off. When you have clients like this, their expectations start out high. And I hate to inform you if this is the first you're hearing it, but their expectations move over time and move in the future. And they don't move down. They never move down. Expectations always ratchet upward. If you have an administrative support person, they respond to clients. Responding quicker is a way to knock the client's socks off. If we're responding quicker to that client than any other service operation in their life, it'll be noticed and it will contribute to client referrals. If let's say you have an administrative support person and their job is just to, in the background, fill out forms and get them into the client file in the computer as promptly as possible. But I have read in other firms where they've written in the standard of the firm, update the client file as soon as possible. It says it right there in the standard. Your standard should be within 1 business day, within 2 business days, within 12 hours, whatever the standard, it should be more specific. But when I talk to administrative support people like that, they shrug their shoulders and say, Mark, what do I have to do with client referrals? I'm sitting there in the back office, just updating client files. To which I say, if that client or potential client called in to the advisor, asked the advisor a question, and the advisor said, here, let me check. They checked the client file and it's not there because it's only been 12 hours since the request came in. If it's there, you have just supported the client to knock the client's socks off by being able to answer the question on the first call, rather than wait to the standard of the firm, wait 1 day, 2 days. I've seen standards that say you have up to 5 business days to get something updated in a file. I'm telling you, you're not contributing to client referrals, and you should be. That's administrative support people. So I'm going to switch from, so let's just say administrative support people, anybody on the administrative team needs to be thinking about, as the advisor, you need to be encouraging them to brainstorm and think of ways they could impress clients. That's really all we're talking about here. What are little things that everybody could be doing in the context of their job to go a little bit above and beyond, do a little bit better job, which might, I emphasize, not always, but might impress a client from time to time because it's done so well or so promptly or so nothing falls through the cracks. The process is so thorough. The process is more proactive, something. So when your administrative person says, here, let me schedule a meeting, you and I can discuss this, at which point you say, have the meeting with yourself. This is your job, not mine. Now, if you want to sit down and brainstorm ideas and put motions on the table, I could do this, I could do that, I could do this, that, and the other to potentially impress clients and therefore contribute to client referrals. Oh, fine. Write up your list, write up your proposal. Let's see your ideas. And if you'd like to sit down with me and get my reaction to them or help you prioritize them or whatever, I'm happy to help. I'm on the client acquisition team too, obviously. So I will support you. I will help you, but I can't do your job for you. If you come up with a list of things that are within your control, you're debating, should I just start doing this or what? You should tell your administrative support person you were hired because you know what you're doing in this area. So I trust you. Now, this is something team members often say they don't hear very often, but you tell them, I trust you. I will give you authority when it comes to impressing clients to go out on a limb. I promise if you'll make a judgment call in the moment, whether or not I've given you approval to do this thing, I give you authority to try things. Go out on a limb. as long as it doesn't affect compliance or it doesn't affect spending of money, then I give you freedom to attempt to impress clients without getting approval first. Then if something goes wrong, I promise we'll be generous. We'll all laugh about it. We'll create a process to fix it so it never happens again. But just give it a try. Try things. I want everybody on this team to go out there and do that. When it comes to subject matter experts, it's even worse. Let's talk about subject matter experts. I've done many other videos on what subject matter experts are, who they are, but basically, just to give a definition to it, a subject matter expert is somebody who is brought onto the team to actually help provide service. Typically, when I'm saying subject matter expert, I'm talking about 5 areas that we are supporting clients, because in these videos, I always talk about providing comprehensive financial services. So if you're watching this and you're a little bit curious, like, what are those areas? What is it that I'm hiring people to do? You're hiring anybody in these 5 areas to do 2 things. And the areas are financial planning, money management, insurance, estate planning, and tax. And insurance is just a placeholder for risk and safety. These are the 5 areas of personal finance. And a subject matter expert is someone with deep knowledge of one or more of these 5 areas to do one of 2 things. The 2 things that clients are needing most in comprehensive financial services and are willing to pay the highest fees for is our strategies and tactics. It would be, we started with financial planning and money management, risk and safety, which is insurance and tax. Let's say you bring someone on, a tax accountant, to create a comprehensive written lifetime tax strategy for your client and tactics to implement their strategy. Or with the that's tax. Now, money management, let's say you hire a chartered financial analyst in your firm because you want help creating a comprehensive written lifetime money management strategy for your clients and tactics to implement the money management strategy. So those are examples of subject matter experts. These are the people, when you hire them onto the team, they have deep skill, they have the ability to do one of these 2 things, or you've got them implementing something in those fields, like money managers are doing money management for your clients, or tax accountants are doing tax preparation for your clients or something. So it could be either strategy or implementation, either one. But if you're in comprehensive financial services, the clients definitely expect strategies and tactics are being created behind the scenes. So when I say that these team members somehow don't believe they have any responsibility for referrals? Well, the subject matter experts resist this more than anybody. If you say, for example, to a tax accountant who you've hired to create a comprehensive written lifetime tax strategy for your good client and tactics, action items and recommendations to implement their strategy, then you start to ask them, what are the outcomes that my clients can expect? Because you're highly skilled, you're highly experienced tax accountant. What can my clients expect as outcomes? Because I've got you doing this rather than some freshly graduated who just got their CPA. So instead of hiring that person for less to do strategies and tactics, I've got you. I've got you with all your skill and all your experience. What are the outcomes the clients can expect because it's you? Can you assure them that they'll always be on track to the tax strategy? And they'll say, oh, no, I couldn't do that because I don't know what the client's doing. Oh, could, for example, maybe an outcome be that there will be no tax surprises because I've got you doing this with all your skill and all your experience? Oh, no, I couldn't promise no tax surprises for the client because I don't know what the client's doing during the year. That's where I stop. I say, don't hire that person. I don't care how much deep knowledge they have. I don't care what their local reputation is. I don't care any of that. If they have sufficient skill and experience for you to hire them to create a comprehensive written money management strategy or tax strategy or some kind of a strategy, there need to be outcomes, or else why hire this person? If you shop enough, and I'm telling you, if you interview 50 partners at local accounting firms, let's say, you'll find someone who says, if I were to guarantee that the client will have no tax surprises, well, then I'd need to know this and this. I'd need maybe 3 or 4 times a year. I'd need to know their income and their inflows and outflows, things that affect taxes. I need to know taxable consequences generated from investment sales throughout the year before they happen, not after they happen. In other words, you have the right person when they say, if you ask me to deliver on an outcome like no tax surprises, their mind immediately starts shifting to, here's the checklist of things I would need in order to deliver on that. Their mind immediately starts going into action on how to solve the problem as opposed to pushing away from the problem. So all I'm saying in this video is team members, both accounting, admin support, and subject matter experts in the various fields, all of them, initially, their intuition says, I'm not involved in this client referral thing. I have no involvement in that, but they do. I just encourage you to talk this up. As I said at the beginning, I'm going to do something that I almost never do. I'm going to recommend that you come join us. If you're watching these videos on some social media platform, that's fine. Keep doing that if you want. But if you will go to our website designed for professional financial advisors who are interested in radically differentiating your services from others who do what you do and your competition in your area. If you want to be different and better, not just a little bit, I'm talking about you want to be the only game in town, then come to themarkofmastery.com. Join our program. It's never costs anything. You just sign up. There are tons of videos. We've got courses. We have topics around exceeding client expectations constantly, not to mention that I have developed the only method that's available in any sort of a training program. And we've got a separate training program for it. But all the basis and foundation of everything I talk about is this method that I've created, which was designed to consistently exceed ideal clients' expectations as measured by client referrals. So the entire methodology that forms the basis for all these videos and everything that I talk about, the foundation of it is the method that I created called Truly Comprehensive Financial Services. I've trademarked it, but I share it with the industry. It is a foundation that's based on growing client referrals, because you're knocking your client's socks off when they provide client referrals. So guess what? Everybody who works at this firm is involved in client referrals, whether they like it or not, or whether they thought about it or not. And it's your job to bring that point home and to make that point frequently with your team. That's it for this video, and we'll see you next time.